One of the world's oldest children's comics could be about to shut down. The Dandy, home to Desperate Dan, Corky the Cat, it's seen its circulation drop now to less than 8,000. It was launched in 1937 when it was selling as many as 2 million copies a week. Its rival, the Beano, came along a year later, featuring well-known characters Dennis the Menace, Minnie the Minx. But today's comics completely different. Unlike the Beano and the Dandy, most of those comics come out of TV programmes. Some of the most popular include this chap, SpongeBob SquarePants, and of course The Simpsons, the famous dysfunctional animated US family. So why has the Dandy lost its audience? Let's talk to an expert. Jamie Smart, an illustrator for a number of comics, including the Dandy, the man who draws Desperate Dan. It's a tough time being in the comic business, Jamie, isn't it? So how do you keep people wanting to buy them? How do you keep it up to date?
It is very tough, yeah, and I think we're going up, as you say, against very licensed properties that have big TV shows and big toy ranges behind them. So when you're trying to work on the Dandy or the Beano, things like that, which are British institutions, you have the weight of history behind you and the weight of British culture, but you still have to keep reinventing and coming up with new ideas, and that's essentially what we've been trying to do with the Dandy, especially 2 years ago when it relaunched as a very different thing to what it was before. And yeah, we're really proud of what we've been producing and what's been coming out.
Your Desperate Dan looks very different to the Desperate Dan I knew when I was in short trousers. Why has he changed?
I think because he has to. As you say, we all grow up with a version of a character, and we have to understand that obviously when we stop reading comics, the next generation comes in and start reading, and you need to do something that's going to appeal to them. So my version is perhaps stylistically a little simpler than previous versions that have come before, but that's what they were looking for. They wanted me to give him a new take, which I did, and I've been doing it for about 5 years now.
I mean, have you gone as far as giving him an iPad, a motorbike, and suggesting he eats salads instead of cow pie?
No, you can make allusions to the modern day. I had one strip where he invented the internet by just putting a box on his head and then filling it with cats. So you can certainly joke about the fact that he is based in the Wild West, which doesn't have technology, and you know, you can spin around that.
Is there, talking about you personally now, is there still room for people who just love drawing to get into this world?
Oh, absolutely. I think with most jobs you need qualifications and CVs. In this job you just need passion and you need heart and you need to really love what you do. And I think if you do that, then you will go far. And it might not be in comics, it might be in TV, it might be in, you know, any sort of illustration. But as long as you love what you do, then you're going to make it. So yeah, I'd urge anyone to keep drawing comics, keep drawing cartoons.
I was a valiant man, a rover and victor and an eagle man when I was growing up. Robert Fisk, we had him on earlier in the programme. He said he was Dan Dare and the Mekon and Digby in the Eagle. What about you? Which way did you come through on the comic route?
Well, I grew up reading Dan Dare as well. I used to read my dad's Dan Dares and Asterix books and things like that. But for myself, I'd read Dandy, Beano, Whiz and Chips. There was a comic called Oink, which was very subversive back in the 80s. Yeah, just anything I could get my hands on, the sillier and more ridiculous, the better.
Do comics have a future, and are they particularly British in the sense of the ones that you work for? Can they be international?
Yeah, I think the more British, the better. I think that's part of their appeal. I think there is still a very big future for comics. I think we need to work out how best to do it, though, and we need to embrace technology, and we need to realise that the world is changing, and we need to change with it and take everything that's been working so far and then adapt it to suit what the world is looking for. At the moment, the Dandy is still selling, and we'd urge everyone to go out and buy it and support it and show how much, you know, we all grew up with this thing, how much we want it to carry on.
Well, we do. I certainly do. Thank you very much indeed, Jamie Smart, the man who draws and writes about Desperate Dan. You don't see that every day on Al Jazeera.
Thank you.